When my family disowned me, it felt as if the floor beneath me had vanished. I had spent years believing that blood meant loyalty, that family meant unconditional love, and that no matter what, we had each other's backs. But suddenly every illusion shattered. Their words pierced through me like ice. You are no longer a part of this family. My siblings smirked. My parents' faces were cold, and for the first time, I realized that those I trusted most were capable of betraying me in ways I never imagined. I sat alone in my childhood bedroom, staring at the walls that held memories of a happier time. Pictures of birthdays, vacations, and family celebrations stared back at me, silent witnesses to my humiliation. Every happy moment now felt like a lie. Their betrayal burned deeper than anything I had experienced. Yet beneath the pain, a small ember of something else began to glow, a stubborn determination not to let this define me. I thought about all the times I had tried to prove myself to them, the late nights spent studying, working tirelessly to build my own success, the sacrifices I had made hoping they would notice. And now, in a single moment, they dismissed everything. I was speechless, but not defeated. That night, as I lay awake staring at the ceiling, a plan started to form in my mind. I would not allow them to erase me. Not anymore. The next morning, I walked through my neighborhood as if nothing had happened. People waved, children played in the streets, and the world moved on, indifferent to the personal storm raging inside me. And in that indifference, I found clarity. I realized that their opinion, their judgment, their betrayal, none of it could touch the life I was building for myself. The world beyond my family's walls was wide, full of possibilities, and waiting for me to step into it. Over the following days, I meticulously reviewed every aspect of my life that my family had overlooked or dismissed. My savings, investments, business plans, friendships, and the professional networks I had quietly nurtured, all of it became a source of strength. They thought disowning me would break me. Instead, it became a mirror, reflecting my resilience, my achievements, and the independence I had quietly built. I also observed them closely. My siblings continued with their smug assumptions, flaunting their sense of superiority, believing they had won. My parents remained silent, as if approval could be withheld indefinitely. But in their overconfidence, they revealed their weakness. They had underestimated me. They had dismissed the quiet, capable person I had become. And now, I was ready to let the truth speak for itself. Weeks passed, and I cultivated my plan carefully. I wasn't seeking revenge in a destructive sense. I wanted justice, acknowledgement, and a restoration of dignity. Every interaction, every choice I made, became a step toward proving my worth, not to them but to myself. Slowly, I rebuilt connections with those who had witnessed my growth, but had been overshadowed by my family's influence. Their recognition reinforced my belief that I was not powerless, that my life was mine to shape, and that betrayal could not define my destiny. Then came the first gathering since the disowning, a holiday dinner my family had organized, confident I would attend and be diminished once again. I accepted the invitation, not with fear, but with quiet determination. I entered the room and felt the weight of their judgment. The eyes that once seemed loving, now scrutinizing and calculating. My siblings smiled, confident I would falter. But I didn't. I remained composed, my calm unsettling them more than any argument or outburst could. Their faces flickered with doubt, a subtle crack in the facade of control they had believed they held over me. Throughout the evening, I listened. Their conversations revealed their assumptions, their plans, and their ignorance of my achievements. They gloated about their perceived victories, assuming that cutting me out would cement their dominance. But every word they spoke fueled the determination inside me. I realized that the ultimate confrontation would not require shouting or anger. It would require the revelation of the truth, undeniable and undeniable, leaving them no room to dismiss me again. When the moment came, I spoke calmly but firmly. I revealed my accomplishments, the investments I had nurtured, the projects I had completed in silence. I shared the life I had built independently, free from their approval and oblivion. The room fell silent. My siblings' smug expressions faltered. My parents' faces shifted, a mixture of shock, shame, and reluctant admiration appearing. For the first time, they saw me as I truly was, competent, independent, and unshakable. I left that night not with triumph over them, but with triumph over the situation. I had not allowed betrayal to break me. I had reclaimed my dignity, and more importantly, I had affirmed my worth to myself. I knew the path ahead would be challenging, but for the first time, I understood that power, respect, and validation are earned, not granted. And with that understanding, I felt free. The days following that dinner were filled with reflection. I spent hours reviewing my life, taking stock of my relationships, my finances, and my personal growth. I realized that for too long, I had defined myself by my family's perception. I had chased approval, recognition, and love that was never fully given. Now I understood that my worth was independent of their acknowledgement. I had survived betrayal, and in doing so, I had discovered a new form of strength, one that could not be shaken by anyone's judgment. I reached out to mentors, colleagues, and friends I had trusted over the years. Their encouragement, their belief in me, and their recognition of my accomplishments reinforced what I had long known. I was capable of building a life on my own terms. I began expanding my investments, taking calculated risks, and strengthening the foundations I had quietly laid. Every small victory, every step forward became a testament to my resilience. Meanwhile, I observed my family from a distance. My siblings continued their attempts to assert dominance, but without my submission, their confidence wavered. They didn't understand that true power is not about silencing others, it's about being unshakable in your own truth. Their comments, their boasting, their attempts to provoke me all fell flat. I had discovered a quiet strength that no insult could pierce. Months later, I attended another family event. This time, I entered with complete self-assurance. The room, familiar yet foreign, was filled with people who had once measured my worth against arbitrary standards. My siblings attempted to assert the same control, but it was futile. I had prepared thoroughly, and when I spoke, my words carried the weight of undeniable truth. I shared my achievements, my independent successes, and my journey of resilience. The silence that followed was deafening. My parents' expressions revealed the conflict within them. They had always believed that status, inheritance, and compliance were measures of worth, but they were forced to confront a new reality. Their actions had underestimated the person I had become. My siblings' smugness faded, replaced with uncertainty. For the first time, they saw me not as a failure, not as someone to be erased, but as a force they could not ignore. In the months that followed, I continued building my life, focusing on personal growth and self-sufficiency. I learned to derive satisfaction not from the acknowledgement of those who had betrayed me, but from my own achievements. Every business venture, every investment, every friendship became a reaffirmation that I was capable of thriving, without their approval. The betrayal that once threatened to destroy me had, paradoxically, become the catalyst for my most significant growth. Looking back, the moment of disowning was the most painful and transformative period of my life. It taught me that betrayal, while devastating, can illuminate the truth about relationships, about self-worth, and about the limits of others' influence. I discovered that resilience is built not by avoiding pain, but by facing it, understanding it, and using it to fuel your own journey. Through this process, I also learned a profound lesson about forgiveness, not the kind that allows others to continue hurting you, but the kind that allows you to release the hold of bitterness. I chose to forgive, in the sense that I no longer allowed their actions to dictate my emotions or my self-esteem. This liberation was more powerful than any act of revenge. I did not need to humiliate or retaliate. My life, my accomplishments, and my confidence were proof enough of my strength. Eventually, I redefined what family meant to me. I focused on those who supported, valued, and respected me. I understood that bonds based solely on blood are fragile, while those built on trust, respect, and shared experiences endure. I surrounded myself with people who celebrated my growth and encouraged my ambitions. And in doing so, I created a network of support, far stronger than any inheritance or approval could provide. I continued to thrive professionally and personally. My investments grew, my relationships deepened, and my self-confidence soared. I had transformed the shame and betrayal of my family's rejection into a story of empowerment. Each decision I made was deliberate, each step forward intentional, and every success a reminder that I was more than the limitations they had tried to impose. When I occasionally interacted with my family, their perception of me had shifted. They no longer assumed they could manipulate or diminish me. While there were still tensions, I remained calm, composed, and unshakable. I realized that true strength is quiet, unwavering, and grounded in self-belief. And in those moments, I felt no anger, No resentment, only a profound understanding that my life belonged to me, and no one could take that away. The most important lesson from this journey was not about them, it was about me. I learned that betrayal is painful, but it is also revealing. It can show you who is truly worth your trust and who is not. It can force you to confront your own strength and resilience. And ultimately, it can provide the opportunity to rise above, to thrive, and to claim your life on your own terms. I now look back on the day they disowned me not with bitterness, but with gratitude. It was the beginning of a journey that allowed me to discover my true self, my independence, and my power. I realized that no act of betrayal can define me, and no one has the authority to determine my worth. I am enough on my own, and that realization is more liberating than anything I could have imagined. Through this experience, I also learned to cherish those who genuinely support and uplift me. They are the true family, the people who celebrate your victories, who comfort you in pain, and who remind you that love, respect, and loyalty are earned and reciprocated. And in this circle, I found not only belonging, but strength, inspiration, and the freedom to continue building the life I deserve. The story of being disowned taught me that life is unpredictable, that betrayal can come from the most unexpected places, and that resilience is born from adversity. I learned that standing firm, defending your worth, and pursuing your own path is not only courageous, but transformative. In the end, I realized that my family's rejection did not destroy me. It revealed me, strengthened me, and prepared me for a life far beyond the limitations they tried to impose. And so my journey continues, defined not by their judgment or their betrayal, but by my choices, my actions, and my unwavering belief in myself. I am stronger, wiser, and more confident than ever. And nothing, not even the people who once disowned me, can take that away.